Sure, YouTube, is Dysphonic here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to make a quick and easy but interesting deep house song without having to make a drum kit by yourself. We'll be making use of drum kit loops. We'll just be dragging and dropping them onto the playlist. This is also to encourage you to use drum kit loops if you have any. It does not take anything away from your ego. I know as producers, we always want to create everything by ourselves. The kicks, the claps, everything. We really want to create it by ourselves and make it as unique as we can. But using sample packs does not kill that or take it away from us, because you can still mix a variety of sample packs, mix and master them and make them sound unique. You know, it just gives you that push to start focusing on the melody and other elements of the track. You know, imagine how annoying it is. Every time you make a beat, you have to start from scratch, making the kicks, layering it with the claps, adding heads, percussions, and all of that. But then in today's video, I'll be showing you guys how you can just skip that phase by dragging and dropping drum kit loops. And then we'll start from there, focusing on the chords, the melody, the bass line, and all of that. So this is the beat that I've been working on recently. It's almost done, but I think it's a perfect example to use to demonstrate the idea of using drum kit loops to start off your beats, because that's what I did over here. But before I show you that, let me just play a part of the beat first, and then we can then break it down and show you guys how to use drum kit loops, and then also how to add on melodies and chords on top of those drum kit loops in order to build your song. So let's just press play. So that's the beat. As you've heard, it sounds very simple, but it has a very catchy and interesting melody and bass line. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. As you heard, the drum kit does not have a lot of variations. It's just a drum kit loop. There isn't a lot going on, but I spent most of my time trying to build up a catchy rhythm, you know. So I just dragged in and dropped the drum kit loops. It doesn't take anything away from your ego. Use loops, use combinations of loops. If you want to make them sound unique, mix them, you know, try to add some effects to them, some reverb, you know, to make them sound unique. So I'm just gonna loop this section. This is where I have all of my drum kit. Literally, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patterns for my drum kit. So I'm just gonna solo the kicks. As you can see, it's a drum kit loop. It's a 4-step kick. And then I have my shakers here. And then I added another loop, which is other shakers. Then there was this loop also. So those are the 4 loops that I used to build up my drum kit. And then I just added some snares there. Oh no, those are claps. And then these are snares. And then the only thing that I can say didn't really take me any time actually. But I made effort to make my drum kit sound a bit unique, you know. Just added some hats and a clap. There was no need to add kicks because I already have kicks on my loops here. So the only time I would add kicks is if I feel like the kicks sound weak, but then these ones were not sounding weak. So I was like, no, let me just use the kicks that I already have on the loops there. So that's how it sounds so far. My claps, the only effect that I added, if you can look at my claps, I have some reverb there. So I added reverb on the claps. The next thing that I did to the song was to now build onto the rhythm. I was like, let me come up with some chords now. All right, those are the chords. There's a plugin I used, Expand 2. Most people use it for Afro House, but music is music. You can use it for anything. Then you can just go and open up your minor there. That's how I built up the chord. I used a minor chord, and then there, that's the minor, then the minor again, minor again, minor chord again, minor chord again. So literally, that's what I did to build up this chord progression. But it's not a rule to say that all of the chords in this chord progression are going to be minor chords. You can find that one of the chords is not really in tune with the scale that you're on. So in that case, maybe you have to make it a major. And to make it a major, you have to take this note, 1 note upward. Okay, actually it doesn't work that way because these are still glued together. So you have to ungroup them like that. Press Alt and G, and then you can move this note. So to make a major chord, you just have to move the middle note 1 step upward. So that's the major. All right, so that's the chord progression. So once I've figured out my interesting chord progression, I now add something that sounds a bit harsh to it. Same chord progression, but this one just sounds a bit harsh. Now that I've added that something that sounds harsh, now I fill up the chord progression. These are the long sustaining notes. So as you can see, it's still the same chord progression, but they are long and sustaining notes. I'm not sure if that's what you call them. Also, if you can see here, these top notes are off timed, as you can see. So to do this, you just hold Alt and S to strum it, and then you can play around with the time. This is just gonna make it sound more human and less computerized. It also works with guitars, you know, to just get that human feel from it, as if someone was actually playing it and then you recorded it. And then this sounds like a saxophone, but it's actually a keyboard, just that it's also a bit harsh. And that's all I did, you know. Moving on, and then I figured out a combination of effects that I want to use whenever my track transitions in between phases. So now we are going into the 41st bar. This is when I'm going to introduce my bass line. It's not a rule that you have to introduce your bass line on the 41st bar. Most people usually introduce them on the 33rd bar, but then I introduced mine here. So I also added my combination of effects here, right? That's how it sounds. As you can see, these are both log drums. I customized them myself. So if you want the presets, you just go to my store and then get yourself dysphonic log drums. And then to make it also more interesting, I switched up the bass line. Where did I? Oh, pattern 8. Actually, let me not go there first because I want to play this element for you guys. As you heard, there are these plugged notes that are introduced over here. Let me just solo them. Actually, let me solo them here. I made use of these automation clips over here to automate the frequency. As you can hear, it sounds harsher at this part. So that's what I did, and then I also introduced the melody. So if you can hear over here, I switched up the bass line. So I changed the progression of the bass line. And then I also, because I changed the progression of the bass line, I had to also change the progression of these plugged notes so that they correspond with the changed bassline progression. So that's pattern 22. If you can look at that chord progression, it's not the same as the one I had over here when I still had the old bassline. It's not the same progression, right? So if it was the same progression, it wasn't gonna blend with the new bassline. I actually had that as I was busy producing the song. So let me just replay that part for you. Now, the main reason for me to change the bass line was to, add more mood to the song and make it sound more happy, more joyful and more energetic. But then, contrary to that, I had to add these chords to add a bit of emotion to it, Let me just solo these ones. So that's why they say music is art, because here these are just combinations of moods. There's an energetic, joyful, and happy mood over here, and then there's a bit of emotional mood to it. But together, it just sounds amazing. So that's how you make an interesting and catchy deep house song. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the beat. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Cheers. I'll catch you on my next video.